All right. Well, good afternoon or good evening or good morning or whenever it is. My name is Willie Lawson. This is the Willie Lawson Show here on iHeartRadio. We appreciate you being here and taking a listen in. We've got, you know what, for as often as we do this show, we've got pretty doggone good numbers, and we appreciate you listening to all. I appreciate all the listening to every part of the Spacebar production empire, from the Willie Lawson Show to the Not Quite Midnight Jazz program to our True and Lasting Change program. We've got a lot of things. The Sports Sunday program. We've got a lot of things that we do, and we are now over 10,000 listens here on Spreaker, and we appreciate that. We hope to get to 20,000 before the end of the calendar year. That's a big goal. That's a big step, but we are pretty sure that we can do it. With your help and God's help, we're pretty sure that we can do this. Listen, the title of this show was meant to be provocative on purpose. The title of this show is One More Dead Monkey. One More Dead Monkey. And it has to do with the shooting of the silverback gorilla at the Cincinnati Zoo a few days ago. If you hadn't heard, if you've been living under a rock, or you've been in a coma, or you just got back in the country from Zimbabwe or the North Pole, you might not have heard about it. Apparently, at the Cincinnati Zoo, a 4-year-old boy found his way into the gorilla enclosure, fell into it about 7 or 8 feet down into the gorilla enclosure, and for a short time became a toy for a 17-year-old silverback gorilla. When you watch the videotape, the gorilla doesn't take an aggressive action on the boy or to the boy, for sure. Well, because the gorilla is several times larger than the boy, and didn't see the boy as a threat. Let's just get real. The gorilla didn't attack the boy because he didn't see the boy as a threat. It's a small 4-year-old and a 17-year-old silverback gorilla. The boy was no threat to the gorilla, so the gorilla did not act aggressively. So when you hear people going, "Well, the gorilla didn't even pound his chest, didn't act aggressively," because he didn't see any threat. However, he did grab the boy by the arm, and he started running with him and dragging the boy through the water, and stopped. And then he sort of was picking at him as if he were, seeing what he was made of, and seeing what he was, and the idea was that he had thought, the authorities immediately thought, well, this particular animal thinks that he's found a toy. And we're talking about an 800-pound gorilla with the strength of 5 men plus, and a 4-year-old boy. A 4-year-old boy can easily be injured with just regular play from this massive animal. So the team responsible for those kind of things at the Cincinnati Zoo made a heart-wrenching decision to put the gorilla down. Now, PETA and some other animal rights activists are saying they should have used tranquilizer darts, but who knows better than the people who take care of these animals every day on how they'll react. They thought that a tranquilizer dart, the gorilla might try to fight off the sleepiness and grab his new toy, and God knows what would happen. So they decided that wasn't the way to go, that wasn't safe for the boy, for the human, and the only choice they had was to put the gorilla down. It was heart-wrenching for the staff there. It was heart-wrenching for the Again, for the people who saw it, it was a terrible thing. But there was no choice. There was no choice. Now, what's insane? See, this is the hard part, I think, of our culture. This is the hard part of our society now. There is actual protesting about the shooting of the gorilla. Not that that it's amazing that some of these people cannot see that it was for the safety of the human. So much, in fact, there was an article, I think, in one of the UK papers that the family of the little boy has received death threats. Death threats. Are you freaking serious? Are you kidding me? Really? Because according to some of the animal rights activists, it's due to the lack of parenting that little boy ended up down there in the first place. So they are responsible for the death of this monkey. It's the same thing, really, and what we're going to talk about is kind of a rehash of some of the other incredible mindsets of the left, the cuckoo animal rights left. They're concerned about the life of a gorilla. However, they are not concerned about the genocide that is codified in law in every state in the union. The codification of abortion that is, according to a lot of people on the left, settled law. That in utero, babies get chopped into pieces like so much salad material and sucked out with a vacuum cleaner and tossed in the trash like so much garbage. Silence. Women's right to choose, reproductive health, blah, 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 blah. So I guess it shouldn't be that amazing when animal rights activists choose the gorilla's life over the safety of a 4-year-old child. I guess the animal rights activists are saying, you should have aborted that child anyway. That child should already be dead. It is absolutely, positively amazing that these people exist. And they exist in our country. You know why they exist in our country? Because it is one of the safest places in America. One of the safest places on the planet to have an asshole point of view. To have a completely ridiculous point of view. And not have your house burned down because of it. That when this family, who has other children, gets death threats from idiots, that it is only by the grace of God and what we hope to be a civil society that these people aren't tracked down and have their own house burned to the ground for having this incredibly unkind and uncaring and unsympathetic and non-compassionate viewpoint. Now, these are the people who will tell you that they're all those things. Well, except that when you see them behave, that obviously they are not. So they've actually, people on the animal rights left have actually picked the life of the monkey over the life of the little boy. Now, some of the social justice warriors came out there and started screaming white privilege because the assumption was that the little boy was white. And that's why they killed the gorilla, because the little boy was white. They don't want the little white boy to be hurt, when the fact of the matter is that it was a little black boy. So I guess your social justice warrior nonsense doesn't really hold up. But in true social justice warrior fashion, the social justice warriors simply made the switch to say, well, still anyway, which is not an argument. When I take your point of view and I wipe my butt with it, then you can't just say, well, anyway. When I take your point of view and I wipe my butt with it, you just can't say, well, anyway. You can't. Fact of the matter is that you were wrong, that you overstepped and you were wrong, and what you should do is apologize. That's what you should do. You don't have anything else to do other than apologize and then shut the hell up. That's what you should do. Very easy. Shut up. Sit down. Shut up. These people have gone through enough. And the zookeepers that have been keeping this animal, who've been taking care of this animal all this time, who had to put that animal down, I'm sure that was an emotional decision for them. So please stop acting like they were cowboys and just went in there and shot this gorilla unmercifully. That must have been a very tough decision for them. After all, they had been taking care of this animal. They knew this animal. This animal had a name and a personality to them. It wasn't a pet, but they loved this animal and they had been taking care of this animal. But they still, even then, had the common sense and the common decency to say, you know what? The human life still ranks over the rest of the animal kingdom. You see, this is why we have some of the weirdness and the problems that we do, because we have these people who pop out of the woodwork when a lion gets shot or a giraffe gets killed, who don't believe that. How is it possible that a human being doesn't value the life of human beings over the life of a giraffe or a rhino or a lion? It is the beginning of the social justice movement, in my opinion, that life, the life of humans, is the same as the life of an animal. A boy is to a dog is to a tree, so a boy is to a tree. These people are acting like, well, the little boy and the family sort of deserved whatever happened for letting him get down there in the first place. What? Obviously, a lot of these people have not had children, and small children especially. They get away sometimes. They do get away from you. And they do get away from you at the worst possible moments in the worst possible places. So this whole idea that the parents are strictly to blame is kind of ridiculous, especially if you do not understand or know the circumstances, which none of us really do. My wife will tell you, I've turned into the person who says, hey, let's just slow it down. Let's just wait. Let's not just base everything that we think about a certain subject off a Facebook video or Facebook meme. Let's break it down. Let's wait. Let's see what happens. Let's find out what happened. And I think that's what we should do in this case. I don't think that the family should be charged with neglect and should be made to pay for the animal. I don't think any of that should happen. I think that this case should be over. There are people out there who want to have a funeral service for this animal. Okay. When we get back, I'll tell you why that's sick, and it strengthens my opinion that these people care more about humans than they do animals more than they do about humans. So when we get back, I'll explain that to you right after this message. Well, hello. My name is Willie Lawson, host of the Willie Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio. If I may, I'd like to take a time out and talk to you about some great folks. One of our affiliate partners, New Homes of Tampa Bay. New Homes of Tampa Bay is a special company with special people with a special mission. That mission is to get you, the new construction home buyer, through the process in the best possible condition. What they do is walk you through the process from beginning to end at no cost to you. And they even have something special for you if they let them help you through the process. What they'll do at the end of the process is slide across the table a $1,000 gift card for either Lowe's, Home Depot, or IKEA to start you in your new home. This offer is only good for listeners of the Willie Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio or iHeartRadio or Spreaker. You can talk to the great folks at New Homes of Tampa Bay by calling 813-770-9452. That's 813-770-9452. Or you can reach them online at newhomestpa.com. That's www.newhomestpa.com.
Chief, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. They're laboratory mice. Their genes have been spliced. They're Pinky and the Brain. Brain, 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 brain. Before each night is done, their plan will be unfurled by the dawning of the sun. They'll take over the world. They're Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. Their twilight campaign is easy to explain. To prove their mousy worth, they'll overthrow the earth. They're Pinky and the Brain. Brain, 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 brain. Narf!
Narf! That's my favorite part. Narf!
Narf! Brain, 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 brain. Narf! Brain, brain, brain. Narf!
Narf!
Brain, brain. Narf! Brain, narf!
I love that. I love that. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that makes me smile no matter what. We're talking about One More Dead Monkey, and that's really all we're talking about. And it and the amazingness of the animal rights left that care more about the monkey, the gorilla, than they do about the little boy. That so much. Some people are wanting to have a funeral for the little boy. Now, I'll tell you why this is sick. Funerals are ceremonies for the living. No matter what culture, they are ceremonies for the living, where the person who has died is funeralized to prepare them for what the people who show up believe is the preparation for an afterlife. And the only way that you can have an afterlife is that the person who is being funeralized, the deceased, has a soul. Nobody is funeralizing a carcass. No culture funeralizes carcasses. Most cultures burn the carcass. very few spend the time, energy, effort, and the land resources to bury the carcass. That's a primarily Christian, a Judeo-Christian thing to do. It's not necessary in the funeral rite to actually bury the carcass. So cremation is becoming more and more popular, but the idea of having funerals is to prepare the funeralized for the afterlife. So when people start saying we should have a funeral for this monkey, they're saying that this animal somehow has a soul, and which is sick, because it puts the animal right there on the same level as humans. So when I say that they would have preferred that nothing be done until maybe the little boy was hurt or possibly even killed, to that gorilla, and maybe not even then. That's the sickness of these folks. That's the ridiculousness, the ridiculous sickness of these people, these PETA people, these leftist animal rights people that come out of the woodwork now, that have signs and the like, that's, you know, saying that that this animal was murdered and shouldn't have been killed. I mean, this animal was murdered. You can't murder an animal. You can kill an animal, but you can only murder a human being. When they say things like this animal was murdered, then you understand. Then you understand that these people are sick. They're crazy and dangerous. Dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. Because they put the life of a little boy equal, a 4-year-old boy equal to the life of a gorilla. It's the same thing to them. As a matter of fact, the gorilla has more value. I don't know why the social justice warriors aren't up in arms about the animal rights activists who actually give more credence and more value to the gorilla than the little black boy. Why doesn't that piss you off? Why doesn't that drive you around the bend? Why doesn't that make you want to protest and break windows and burn cars? Interesting, isn't it? It continues to be interesting. What we're going to do on the Will Austin Show, probably for the next couple of weeks, we're going to explore a lot of this social justice warrior nonsense. We're going to try to expose it for what it is, nonsense, and we want you to come along with us on this journey. We want you to come along. I have been campaigning for county commission in my area, and the qualifying period for me ends on June 24th at noon. It is still up in the air if I'm going to qualify or not. But I always plan. I always plan for what if and what if not. And we are planning to expand the reach of Space Opera Productions and the Will Austin Show, along with True Lasting Change, along with New Homes of Tampa Bay Sports Sunday. So we're going to need your help. Please be on the lookout for some emails. Please be on the lookout for we're going to start selling some more merchandise. We did that a number of years ago through Cafe Press. Sold some cups and T-shirts and all sorts of things that you can sell through Cafe Press. That's going to start up again, so I want you to be aware of that. That's a great way to help us raise money for broadcast fees, equipment, microphones, booms, lights, all the things, backdrops, all the things we're going to need to expand. We've been talking about expanding. But you can't really, I mean, you can have plans and you can have dreams, but if you don't have resources, then it can't happen. That's just sort of the horrendous adult reality that we all deal with. Without the resources, it's not going to happen. So we're going to get you to come along with us on this journey, and we've been working on the campaign, so it is too late to get to Cleveland. We were hoping to get to Cleveland, but it is too late. We have not raised enough money to get to Cleveland to cover the Republican National Convention like we covered it in Tampa, and that's disappointing. But again, I've been running for local office, and although I'm big, I can't be at two places at one time, and I can only do so much by myself. So we're also looking for interns. We're looking for interns to help gather news stories, to help gather audio clips, to do some video editing and audio editing. We're looking for people who want to intern and help the Willie Lawson Show get to the next level, while at the same time working on their skills. So you can contact me at WLS860@gmail.com. That's WLS, Willie Lawson Show, 860@gmail.com if you're interested in being an intern on the show. Interns sometimes become co-hosts, and co-hosts sometimes become hosts when the regular host is busy. So know that you're not going to sit on the sidelines, that there'll be plenty to do, plenty to learn, and plenty to do. If you're interested in coming along as an intern on this show, and then you know what, and what we're doing here with a number of shows, this one, True Lasting Change, New Home to Tampa Bay Sports Sunday, and whatever else we decide to do. So, and the Will Lawson Show on Blog Talk Radio, and here on iHeartRadio as well. So, if you're interested, send me an email at WLS860@gmail.com. Listen, we're going to get out of here. Thanks so much for coming this evening. We appreciate you, and we appreciate what you do. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you.
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Pinky and the Brain, yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. They're laboratory mice, their genes have been spliced. They're Pinky and the Brain, 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 brain. Before each night is done, your plan will be unfurled by the dawning of the sun. He'll take over the world. The Pinky and the Brain, yes, Pinky and the Brain. Their twilight campaign is easy to explain. To prove their mousy worth, they'll overthrow the earth. They're Pinky and the Brain, 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 brain.